Hey guys, it's me again. We're in video 3, which is the classroom. So the first thing that I want to talk about is the attendance. We're doing paper rosters, so we want to make sure that you're taking attendance, and it's super simple. You can put a check if they're here, or a P for present, and then an A if they're absent. But please don't leave these blank. That doesn't tell us anything. That, we'd have to guess. Did they show up late? Did not show up at all? Did you just forget to take attendance? So at the end of the night, make sure you go through all your rosters and either have a check mark or P or an A for absent. That's going to really help us. Something else, sometimes we have makeups. People come in to do a makeup. Here's a perfect example. On this particular day, right here, what was it? Kenzie and Paige came in for a makeup. So we write their name, makeup, and what day they attended. That's really helpful for us with keeping attendance. So make sure that that's happening, okay? You should have a blue paper coming in with them, letting you know that they're doing the makeup that day. If they don't have a blue paper, you send them to the front desk. Everybody has to have a slip letting you know why they're there, okay? That's attendance. So you wanna make sure that you're taking attendance at the beginning of class. And if somebody is in your classroom that is not on your roster, you have to send them to the front desk immediately. Do not let that class continue. If they're not on your list, that means they probably haven't paid for class, which is not good. So send them to the front desk, first thing. Thanks. So the next is the stereo. And each room there's 2 units like this one. This one's in Studio 2 and there's one similar in Studio 5. Studio 1 and Studio 4 have the same one, except it's Bluetooth. So you can hook up to those 2 in Bluetooth. And then Studio 3 has a completely different unit. This particular unit turns on over here with the on and off. So you know the power is on. And then you have your connector for your computer or your iPod or your phone, whichever you want to do in this particular room. This little guy is covered because this is the master volume and it doesn't need to be any higher than what it is. We don't want to blow our speakers out. So this one, where this is connected straight down, is your volume. So you want to use that. And if you're having any issues with the stereo, just let the front desk know and they'll help you out. So that's that. At the end of the night, make sure that's off and you won't have to hear that. Okay. Moving along, we're standing in Studio 2. So Studio 2 and Studio 5 are where most of the props are. So this is the prop closet. Has hoops, balance beam, there are mats, there are canes, there are scarves, all types of things that are here for your use. But it's really important that when you're done, you put them back the exact same way. Okay, or neater. Okay, we try to keep this closet nice and neat. Sometimes I come in here and it's a disaster. So I love having this stuff for you guys, but we need to take care of it and make sure it goes back exactly the way we found it. Okay? There are also some props in our little drawers. There are plenty of squares to use for placement for kids. There are bean bags and there are scarves. Most of those units are available in each of the classrooms. So while we're on the carts, let's talk about those for a minute. So the top drawer is typically filled with things that you could use in the office. Paper, if you needed to make notes, tape, hair ties and bobby pins because some kids don't come to class with it, even though it's encouraged. Scissors in case you need them, pencils and highlighters. So that's there for you. The next drawer has first aid, since we just took our first aid in CPR. So it has your Band-Aids, it has your antibiotic ointment, it has headache medicine, hairspray in case somebody's out of control there. We have rubber gloves, so if anybody has a nosebleed, make sure you put these on before you try to help them. And then on the other side is just stamps for the end of class. So that's what's in your drawers. If you happen to run out of something and you can let the front desk know, that would be helpful. We'll get that filled up. But they are monitored monthly so that we keep things supplied for you. Next is our binder. This guy, each room has one. This one happens to be for Studio 2. So this has tons of information. When we open it, this is for the tablet, which we no longer use, but it can stay in the room for Spotify if you want to use your Spotify. Table of contents tells you exactly what's in here, from cheat sheets, studio policies, the different forms, the entire compliance form is in here. I actually always slip some over here at the beginning of the year because it's used pretty frequently at the beginning of the year. Not so much later on because they get in routine. Parent, student concerns, injury reports, attendance, evaluations, other things that are great for you to read, then you can get a copy of. And then how long your recital songs should be, and then just tips and tricks. And at the very end is the syllabus. You'll have your own copy, but let's say you forgot them that day, you can always check in the back if you're like, wow, I need to work on something else today. So go through each section. It tells you your cheat sheet, all your codes of ethic, your forms, student parent concerns, injury report. This gets to be filled out anytime if the two kids run into each other playing, and most likely a bruise is going to happen. Kid falls down, cries, just let the parent know. They really appreciate knowing that information instead of seeing a bruise happen later and the kids tell them, we want to fill this out. Make a copy of it. We keep one at the front desk, and one goes home with the child. This talks about why it's important to have a dress code. These are ideas for classes, scarves. We get to recital. These are our preferred recital length for songs, creative movement, intro, pre-dance. All this is always available for you to look at. And then some more stuff for your reading, hair and makeup. And then you get into the evaluations. Like I said, you will get a copy of these. And these are your primary skills through what you should be doing at bar, center, allegro. Just for ballet 1, as for example, I won't go through all of them because you'll get a copy. Okay? But they're all in here for your use. So if you do use the book, just again, make sure that you close it properly and put it back where you find it so that the next person can use it. So attendance is always on the counter. And then we have coloring sheets for the little kids' classes. And then there's always some type of flyer or something that needs to go out. And they're always sitting here all in a row. You can kind of adjust them as you need them, but just make sure they don't get hidden so that the next teacher can find them and leave them out. And make sure that you're passing them out. This is really easy if you're really into class to forget. But put them somewhere where you're going to remember, like, I don't know, right on top of your attendance or something so you don't forget. So that's really important. Starting off class, the very first day, you want to start it off right. When you bring the kids in, that first day is going to establish you as a teacher in the room. So you want to make sure that you have control right away. Have a plan. One of the things that I do when they come in is I make everybody go to the front line and stand on the front line right away. And I introduce myself, and then we go down the line and we have everybody introduce themselves to me. And usually I have them tell me something about themselves just to kind of break the ice. So then I tell them every week when you come in, you're going to come to the front line. And then from that front line is when I can go, okay, you're going to step back, you're going to step forward, you're going to step back, you're going to step forward, you're going to step back. So they know a routine as soon as they come in. We don't want them just coming into the room and wandering around without a purpose. So find that purpose that you want them. Could be going to the circle, always having that circle out for them to go to and sit down. It could be coming in and, again, standing on the front line. It could be coming in and sitting down in front of the mirror, okay? It's super important that you start your activity right away. Establish your beginning and then get busy to work right away. And then let them know. Be friendly but firm right from the beginning. I use the words a lot like, no, we're not doing that right now. This is what we're doing. You can come and do what we're doing. And then if I happen to have somebody that's a little stubborn, I give them a choice. Then they have to make the decision whether they're going to continue with that behavior. And one of the things is you can either go sit down and watch, or you can do what we're doing. But those are the two choices. There's no other choice. You can either sit and watch, or you can do what we're doing. So make sure that you're establishing that discipline right from the very first class, and then make sure that you are giving your all your energy every day in class, because that's what they're here for your energy. And the more that you give them, the more they're going to give you. So a super important skill to use and to learn is to learn everybody's name really quick. As we all know, we always learn the kids that give us a little bit of trouble's name first. For some reason, that always sticks with us. And then the shy one, we can never remember the name. But it's so important to be able to learn everybody's name super quick and refer to them by name. It's been proven that, that personal touch adds so much to class. So make sure you're taking the time to say their name. Make it a point to say their name every class. Call them up. If you have to use your roster for the first couple weeks and hold it in your hand until you establish that, do that. Same with the older kids. Don't pick a nickname for them. Figure out their name and call them that each class. Make sure you say each person's name at least once per class, okay? So as far as discipline goes, we talked a little bit about the little kids, but let's say you're having an issue with the bigger kids and you just can't get it under control. You need to elicit the front desk help with that. You can either send them out to the front desk, or you can come and talk to the front desk and let the front desk come in and handle it. The last step should be if I have to come in, if they have to come to the principal's office, which, I've had to do that before, but don't let it continue. If you have trouble the first class and you talk to them after class and it continues the second class, we need to take more steps. We cannot let that go on and fester. We have to nip that in the butt right away. So make sure that you're taking care of that. So now I want to let you know that each room has an emergency plan of action. You want to make sure that you take time to read this. Inside of it, there's a roster, but you will have your roster from class, which will be the most updated one, so make sure that you take that. And then it tells you exactly where to go in case of a fire, in case of a tornado, in case of an active shooter. I hope that never ever happens, but you want to read through, and it has different descriptions for each and what you should do during each one of those. And this folder is located right up here, and there is one in each room, so make sure you're familiar with that. Also, we're going to walk over here. Every room has posted an emergency plan. This happens to be for Studio 2, and it's the way that we're facing right now. This is the lobby, and we're in Studio 2. For us, it would be out this door and straight out the back, and we would go all the way around the building and meet in the parking lot. But make sure you look at each of these for the room that you're teaching in, so you know exactly where you need to go. So now I want to talk about our thermostats. So this is thermostat number 2. So number 2 controls Studio 2 and Studio 1. There's always a battle for temperature between Studio 2 and Studio 1. So if you teach in this room, you always want to dress in layers, okay? As you can see, it's under key so that we don't have a battle. The front desk will set this for you. Sometimes it's really hot, sometimes it's really cold, so we need to adjust it. This is one of 4 thermostats in the building, okay? Just remember that you are not supposed to do any of them, all right? Let the front desk do that. Just tell them that you need it a little hotter or you need it a little colder, and they'll adjust that for you, all right? All right, so we're just finishing up our class, and class is over. So we need to get ready to go. So I'm going to clean up my area. We have the disco ball. We want to make sure that we turn that off, save that battery. Oh look, somebody left things up front. Ew. Let's make sure that there's nothing around on the floor. Clean that up. Make sure we dispose of that in the garbage can. Gross. Oh, I used the fans tonight, so I want to make sure that I turn that off. And then, oh look, lucky for me, I already turned off the stereo. That's good. I want to leave these out for the next person to have to clean up. Oh, and I happen to be the last person in this room tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and take my attendance to the front so it's already out there. So these are the things that we expect. If you use props, I'd expect you to put them back into the room. So your area should be ready to go for the next person that comes in the next day. So when you go to the front desk and you're taking your attendance, you want to, number one, make sure that you filled it out completely. Number two, you want to make sure that you're doing your payroll and that you're letting desk staff know that you're leaving for tonight. If you're the last teacher in the building, or one of the last teachers in the building, you need to stay and leave with the desk staff. I don't like any of the employees leaving at night alone. So they're gonna do their job, be ready to go when you guys are ready to go, and you guys can all walk out together to be safe.